This is BBC News. The former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga has died at the age of 80. He'd been at a traditional Indian medical facility in Kerala state in southern India, where he had a cardiac arrest. Mr. Odinga spent many years as an opposition leader, losing 5 presidential campaigns, most recently 3 years ago. He frequently blamed the polls had been rigged. He served as Prime Minister to one of the men who defeated him, Mwai Kibaki, from 2008 to 2013. There had been reports that he'd been in poor health, but those had been denied by his family. And we can show you these live pictures coming into us from Nairobi. We understand that Kenya's President William Ruto will be taking to the mic there to deliver an address to the nation. In recent months, the president and Raila Odinga had become political allies, working together to get their MPs working together in Parliament. This was seen as quite controversial by some of Raila Odinga's supporters, but crucially, President Ruto wanting to deliver an address, pay his respects to Raila Odinga, and the news that the former opposition leader has died at the age of 80. Our global affairs correspondent Richard Kagore outlined for me Raila Odinga's legacy.
I'd say that he's one of the most significant or consequential political leaders, not only in Kenya, but across Africa. He was widely seen to be a champion of democracy, a defender of human rights, and somebody also who really pushed for political reform in Kenya and also across the continent. He did inspire a generation of politicians across the continent and just really made them quite resilient in their push for good governance and also for transparency in terms of governance across the continent. He's had considerable political experience. He had strong connections internationally, and that's how widely Raila is viewed, not only in Kenya, but also abroad.
But he did have a checkered past more recently in terms of his alliance with the current president, William Ruto. He was a key political figure in Kenya for decades. Where does this leave Kenya now that he's passed on?
I think really that's the big question, and a lot of people have really been wondering what really happens post, Raila Odinga, because there hasn't been any political figure who has sort of like stepped up to inherit him. No one really has sort of like the capacity to mobilize, opposition forces the way Raila has done this. And so this is likely to really alter, Kenya's political landscape and really reshape our opposition politics. And even now as the country really prepares for what will be seen as a very competitive elections just 2 years from now. So that's a question that's still lingering in the minds of a lot of political observers.
And that was our global affairs correspondent Richard Kagore there.